I'm making this video to show you how each lesson will work for world history in 7th grade. I am going to use this lesson 1-1, the distant past, as the tutorial. First off, you will see how each lesson is laid out. I know you've already seen the color coding, but let me go through here. The top lesson will always be where you start with the lesson. Notice it is a pre-test. The bottom assignment is going to be your mastery check. And in between, you have all the things that either you must do or should do or aspire to do, or if they're not labeled with a color, they are just materials. So let's look through these. We have the pre-test, which you should do. You have a purple PowerPoint. You will have a purple PowerPoint for every lesson. What it is a PowerPoint explaining your vocabulary words for that lesson. Very important. You will have a video of me explaining the vocabulary words to you, which you don't ever have to use if you don't want. That is there for your convenience, because right here, you have how you learn the vocab words, which is an assignment. It is a must-do, and it is going over the vocab words for that lesson. Next, you have a Frayer, which is a must-do, where you will go through and work with each new vocab word in a, I believe you guys are used to them, called Frayer models. The next will always be your e-text, which is your electronic textbook for that lesson, which looks like what I have here on the right. You will have a must-do digital notebook. This is where you will take all of your notes for that lesson. You will get those notes by watching the lesson videos, and these are must-dos as well. I just have a must-do because you have to watch each lesson, and as you watch them, you need to fill out your digital notebook. So under each lesson, there'll be numerous videos. Then there is a vocab practice. This is a should do because it reviews your vocabulary words before you take that mastery check. And then I have a couple aspire to do's here. The thing with aspire to do's, if you and a classmate are both at the aspire to do's, you've already finished the rest of that lesson, you may work in a pair. You may work with a partner to finish the aspire to-dos. They are going to take a little bit more brain power, a little bit more thinking outside the box, and it should progress you a little bit more. Then the last assignment will always be that mastery check. A mastery check is just an assessment / quiz / test, making sure that you understand the material you just learned in that lesson. I do have it labeled not only as a must-do, but I also put a red dot to make sure this is important. You cannot move on to your next lesson until this is passed. Each video within a lesson I will make in a split screen, just like it is right now. On this side, I will have a digital notebook, and on this side will be the e-text. You are welcome to use your e-text to follow along. It is right here, or you can use the actual textbook that is in that seat back pocket of your chair. Each chair should have one. If you are using the e-text like me, you are welcome to split your screen just like I do. If you are using the electronic textbook, the e-text, and you split your screen like I am, you're going to notice there's no text here. You can't see anything. That's because you need to click this right blue arrow and get it out of your way. And then voila, you have all of the text just like in the actual textbook. If you don't see this arrow, it just means that you're done like this. So make sure you scroll all the way to the top of your page, click that blue arrow to remove that out of your way so that you can see all the text for the textbook. If you are looking at your e-text, you will notice you don't have highlights or circling like I have in my e-text. I highlight and circle in my e-text for this video, well, for the lesson video, so that when we get to a certain question in a digital notebook, I tell you the answers in this paragraph. That's why I have it highlighted, I have it circled. If you want to circle and highlight in your personal e-text, you are more than welcome to. You just highlight it, and you can circle, highlight, whatever you want. You just choose it, and that's what it would be. If you do something, so I'll pretend. So now that's highlighted pink. If I want to get rid of it, you just click on it, go down to delete, and click yes, and it is gone. So you are welcome to highlight or circle in your text however you want while in your e-text. Please do not write or circle or highlight in my actual textbooks. In your Google Classroom, all of the videos I make for each lesson will be under lesson videos. You can see I already have a couple made for this lesson. You will watch them in numerical order. Start with the 1 first, then move on to 2. There will be a 3, 4, and 5 as well. So make sure to watch them in the correct order. You will need to open your digital notebook. It is under digital notebook in your Google Classroom, and that is how you will follow along with the lesson that we are on at the time. All right, the digital notebook, let's look at this. The first couple pages is either the first page or possibly the second page too will have your new vocabulary words. By the time you get to the digital notebook, you'll already have seen the words on that Frayer and in that assignment learning the new vocab words. So at this point, you will just need to define the words on those first couple of pages. You will follow along with your digital notebook this video, right? So you have my video and you'll follow along filling out your digital notebook. You can either use what I have up here, or you can open the e-text, or you can use the actual textbook in your seat back pocket. All right, this digital notebook is 6 pages long. You can see that right there. You've already done the vocab words, and then you move on to the actual questions. Let's move on to page 4 and look at this one. So it tells you if you're using the electronic textbook, you need to click next 3 times to get the answers to these questions. So at the bottom, if you're on page 1, this is the next button. You will click it 3 times to get to where you need to be to find all of the answers there. So that's clicking twice. And then once the highlights and annotations are loaded, that's when it will let you click again. So if you ever get that bar, it just means it's not ready yet. So again, you have to scroll all the way to the top, get that out of the way, and then this is where you will find answers to your digital notebook questions. On page 3, you will see that some numbers throughout your digital notebook are red, and then they are highlighted yellow. That means that these questions are on your mastery check, that quiz, that assessment, that test that you have at the end of each lesson. So these questions are the most important. Each lesson will have 5 highlighted questions. There's 4 right there, and then on page 6 is your 5th one. Each mastery check will have 5 questions, and then it will have a matching where you need to match every single vocab word with its correct definition. If you are using the textbook and not the e-text, I give you in orange the page number where you will find the answer to this question. I do not highlight in your actual textbooks, so you won't have the advantage of highlighting in the e-text, but you will be able to see on my video what paragraph you should be looking at if you're following along. So if you're using the textbook, you have page numbers. If you are using the e-text, the electronic textbook, then I tell you how many times to click that next button from the beginning to get to the page you need to be to answer those questions. So let's look at these vocab words. Pages 1 and 2 in lesson 1 have 8 vocab words. If you are on the first page in your e-text, you can see those vocab words. Let's go ahead and get back to the first page, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. At the bottom, oops, that's still not the first page, so let's go all the way back to the beginning. And again, notice I am removing that wall. So you will find on the first page of every e-text are your vocab words. You can, if you want, just type, right? You can type the definition. This definition is the same definition that I have in that purple PowerPoint. I recommend you just go to your Google Classroom, you go to that purple PowerPoint, and you copy and paste actual definitions into your digital notebook. One thing I do want to make sure that you know, when you are taking your mastery check, that quiz, that test at the end of each lesson, you are allowed to use your digital notebook. Again, when you are taking your mastery check, that end of lesson quiz, you can use your notes from your digital notebook to help you answer those questions. All right, now let's talk about grading. What is a digital notebook worth for grading? It is a participation grade. What I do is each question and each vocab word is worth 1 point. So let's look at this one. You have 4 words, so 4 points. 4 more words, so that's 8 points total at this point. 4 questions, so that's 12 points. 3 more questions, so that's 15 points. Another question, that's 16 points. 2 more questions, that's 18 points total. But I'm going to be honest, the lowest points I give you on a digital notebook is 20. So for this digital notebook, you're going to get 2 points for free. I will give everyone 20 points, and if you have any wrong or not filled out, I'll minus a point from the 20. I'm not going to minus it from 18. So this digital notebook will be worth 20 points, even though there's only 18 questions / vocab words. Yes, it is just a participation grade, but that's a huge part of your overall grade. And what's even better is with this being filled out, it will help you when you take your mastery check, right? You'll have more or less the answers right here. That is all that I'm going to talk about when it comes to the digital notebook and the e-text. If you have questions, please make sure to ask me.